All right, hello everyone. My name is Matt Villegas, and introducing really quick a guest I have here, Tyler Tracy. So he's going to talk a little bit about his process with being rejected from DPT school, but finally making it in, and some of the help he had along the way. So go ahead
That's
and
right. Well, I'm a non-traditional student, Matt, so I was kind of behind the eight ball just from the jump. I graduated undergraduate. My GPA wasn't stellar, but it wasn't in the toilet either. I had a 3.2 coming out of my undergraduate studies, but I also studied criminal justice, which requires zero science. So I got out. I worked for the government for about 5 or 6 years. Decided that I wanted to pursue PT. And then when I was kind of kicking the idea around of changing to PT, I was kind of intimidated looking at the list of prerequisite courses because I had none of them. Actually, I had one. I had statistics.
wow,
Um,
yeah, that's a huge investment.
it is. It is. So I originally, because of that huge investment, it wasn't that I didn't think I could do it, but my original course was to go to PTA school because, frankly, the course was shorter, and I was already, I already had, financial responsibilities, and I had a mortgage payment, and marriage and other things going on. So I said, let me leave my job, and I'll go to PTA school. Quick 2 years, and I can be out kind of on my feet again and doing something that I enjoy. So I applied to PTA school, didn't get in. And I said,
Wow.
well, that sucks. So I met with the advisor there at the school, and I said, what could I do differently? I'm really interested in this. I'm passionate about it, and I really want to do this. What can I do differently?
Mhm.
And they said, you should probably take an anatomy course. I said, well, anatomy wasn't even a prerequisite.
Makes sense.
Which I was like, okay, I can certainly go do that. So I took anatomy and physiology one, I took anatomy and physiology two, and rolled the dice again.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it didn't go my way twice for PTA school. So at that point, I kind of had to stop and reflect and shift gears a little bit. And with the support of my wife and one of my mentors, even now, they both were very strong advocates that I pursue PT. And the selling point to me was, if I'm already spinning my wheels with application after application with PTA school and not getting it in, the time frame is probably about the same regardless. So
Yeah.
take a couple prerequisite courses, knock those out,
Yeah.
and then apply to PT school. So I said, okay. So I started chipping away at those prereqs, 4 hours at
Mhm.
a time, 8 hours at a time, because I was working as a tech also, try to get some experience under my belt.
Gotcha.
So I was kind of balancing a rehab tech job, and like I said, knocking out science classes. And I was doing well. I think I got two Bs. All the rest were A's. I was doing very, very well. Now, granted, I had a lighter course load, but I was also balancing marriage and work and other stuff. So by the time I finally chipped away at all those prerequisites, finally got the gumption up and all my paperwork together, I decided to submit an application. And I submitted an application to Texas State, which was the university that I wanted to attend. Got an interview. I was real excited about it. As a matter of fact, my wife, her little sister, got an interview with me
Oh
that year
wow.
for PTA or for PT school.
Like a
So
interview or oh okay. Okay, gotcha.
no, we both applied to the school at the same time, and both of us were accepted for interviews. So we kind of scheduled our interview together and said, "Hey, let's just make a day of it." So we both went and interviewed, and then she got in, and I did not.
Well,
So I was 0 for 3. So again, I just kept swinging, Matt. I really kind of dug deeper into my technician job and really started to ask more questions from the patients and the people around me. And my wife's a PT, so I would ask her. I would constantly kind of bother her about, what can I do differently? What can I be? How can I be better? How can I be more um, marketable? Just in terms of selling myself, because it wasn't a matter of, do you think you can do it? It was just, hey, I'm a tough sell. Probably coming from a criminal justice undergrad. Um, Kind of a tough sell. So I had to kind of beat the door down and not go away until someone finally decided to open it. And one of the things I did in between my first and second application to PT school is I found Twitter. Twitter was Twitter was my jam, and it still is. And I'm not as active on it now as I would like to be because I'm constantly thinking about patient care and reading articles and trying to do things that I can, improve myself on in the clinic. But I'm also a husband, and now I'm a dad. So those are also things that kind of take a big chunk of my time. So right now I'm not on Twitter as much as I'd like to be, but I think that's going to change after I graduate in May. Anyway, Lauren Keeley and TJ Janicki, I somehow wound up linking up with them, participating in the DPT student chats, which used to happen, I think they were Wednesday nights. And I said, hey, these are people that are further in the game, and they're where I want to be. So I'm not even going to participate because I frankly don't think I have much to add to this conversation. Right. But I want to listen, and these are people that have already done it. They're where I want to be. So maybe there's something that I can pick up on here and there. So that's what I did. I frankly just lurked for months, and I would just every Wednesday I would tune in, and I would set my tweet deck up to follow hashtag DPT student, and I would just listen and see who kind of sparked interest in me. And then because I wasn't very confident in my own ability to participate in those conversations, I would take them to people that I knew that I was comfortable with. And right. If there was a question that I had either to my wife or my best friends at PT, I've got a lot of family members who are PTs, and I'd take to them and I'd say, hey, what about this? What do you think about that? Or business owners or whoever, whatever the topic was that week. And that's kind of how I started, just kind of chewing on things that were kind of over and above a textbook somewhere that I could pick up and read. Yeah. So that's what I did. I just really jumped into the DPT student chats, and I came across a few people who are very well known, unbeknownst to me at the time. I was just kind of picking up Twitter followers here or there. Right. And yeah, so I get in contact with this guy. He's pretty funny, very tell it like it is. But he hears I didn't get into PT school, and he shoots me a tweet, and he says, "Hey man, I see you all over these DPT student chats, and I know that you're really passionate about this. What happened? Why didn't you get in?" And I said, "Hey man, I met with the gentleman who interviewed me, and he gave me some really good feedback, and I'm really struggling with which direction to take it because there's a couple, right. And I just really need to work on XYZ." And he said, "How about this?" And he tweeted me his phone number, and he said, "Why don't you give me a call? We can work on that." And I said, "Okay, that's cool." So he gives me his phone number, and of course I just start kind of looking into the guy before I call him. And it's Jerry Durham. San Francisco Sport and Spine. He has 2 clinics, wildly successful. I mean, crazy knowledgeable, passionate beyond anything I can imagine. I mean, this guy is the guy. And I didn't know it at the time. I just thought he was kind of funny, and he likes basketball, and he's a PT guy. I was like, kind of a cool guy. So he's going to let me give him a call. Well, he told me to call him during his business hours, which really resonated with me. I'm saying, this guy doesn't know me from Adam, and he's going to invite me to call him during time that he could be productive for his business, to help me with a problem that I have. Yeah, that's not going to benefit him at all. Like, it's literally just him just being generous and saying, "Hey, this guy's passionate. He's striking out over here, and I think I might be able to help him out." So he just sent me his phone number and said, "Hey man, call me." And it was an open invite to have a discussion that frankly changed the course of my life, really, without sounding super duper cheesy, but it's true. He gave me some really good feedback. We talked about things that I needed to research on my own, about different directions I could take things. He really kind of unpacked things, and gave me a little bit different perspective to approach the interview with. And I followed his advice. I researched what we talked about was important for me to research. I tightened up some areas that needed to be tightened up, frankly. And then I just continued to, in the year that it took me to reapply, because I'm only applying to one school also. So I was pretty stubborn. I knew I wanted to go to Texas State. And the second year I applied, I only applied to Texas State. And I put all my eggs in one basket again. I couldn't uproot my family. My wife had a job that I didn't feel comfortable asking her to leave. So this was the only school that was that was
Yeah.
convenient enough for our family situation. So it's like, hey, this is all my eggs in one basket right here. So I got to nail this thing. It's not like I got three other choices. I got to come in here and nail this thing out of the park. And sure enough, I mean, with his advice, with a little bit of diligence, and really with continued participation and more engagement with people who were at the time where I wanted to be, current students, sure enough, I got in. And
Nice.
you know, it was just again, I always think back on how this guy just shot me a phone number, which I don't know, for him it probably wasn't that big of a deal, but I mean, the guy gave me an hour of his time on a weekday to, again, someone that he didn't know, and I got to finally meet him this year at CSM, and I brought a bottle with me. Jerry's a big bourbon guy, so I know I've asked him what he really prefers to drink, so I brought him a nice bottle of bourbon to kind of thank him for that phone call 3 years later, 4 years later, whatever it is, because that was probably more impactful than he realized. So I really wanted to shake his hand and tell him, honestly, thank you for helping me out and really changing the course of kind of the direction of my life and for my family also, because that's just going to set me up to get out of school faster and to get to doing what I like to do.
Yeah. So with your family, I didn't know this about yourself. Your family has a lot of experience in the PT world. Like what was different there from their experience, and then what Jerry shared with you?
Well, my wife is awesome. I don't know how I lucked into that. She did undergrad and then jumped straight into PT school. She's one of those that, 3.9999999, where they're just like, chomping at the bit to let her in, and she, just goes straight through and is an absolute rock star. And she's been practicing now for 9 years, something like that. So she's cut from a different mold than I am. It takes me, I'm kind of hard-headed and dumb, so I really got to work at it a lot more than she does. And she, yeah, but it was very humbling to fail that many times on a grand stage, and to have her and other people, it wasn't just her, but really she's my biggest cheerleader throughout this whole thing, for her to continue to support me, because it was kind of a long, crappy road to get to where I'm at now, but it was longer and crappier for her because she had to take up a lot of the slack. But she supported me the entire time because she knew I could do it. So that's been a tremendous confidence boost. To have someone who's, like I said, wildly successful at what she does. She's loved and adored wherever she goes. She's super great at it. She's a PDPT. So for her to support me in the manner and with the rigor and enthusiasm that she does really drives me to really want to be successful with every hour I spend away from her.
Oh yeah.
Because it's an investment on getting back to her. Definitely. Once I'm finally done with school, I can finally get back to spending time with her. Because as you know, in PT school, you don't have much time.
Definitely not.
Exactly.
Yeah. And definitely, like, how would you describe your why for PT?
It's really dumb. It's really cheesy, and every single person says it. But it's true. I want to help people. And I was talking to someone the other day, and confidence is something that I struggle with, and I wonder why, because I get rejected 6 times in a row, but for me to have this grandiose idea of, hey, go out and change the world, it's kind of daunting, and I get intimidated by it. But if I can wake up every day and say, I don't need to change the world, I need to change a world today. I need to be the catalyst, the breakthrough, the light, the love, the something for somebody today. And I know I can do that. I know that I can love on somebody, that I can inspire somebody, that I can help somebody, that I can do that. I can do that easily once a day. And for me, that's what wakes me up and keeps me going, because like I told you before we went live, that the patients that I have the privilege to work with are so damn inspiring that I walk out of work every day grateful that I get to walk to my car. Yeah. Patients right now, I get to treat patients with spinal cord injuries, and there's so much that I take for granted, and meeting these people and seeing how hard they fight, I take so much less for granted than I did before. And I walk in those doors trying to help and inspire them, and usually it goes the other way. But really, Matt, to me, I can wake up every day and I want to change a world, not the world. And hopefully in 30 years, I can look back and see, kind of that ripple effect going behind me.
Yeah, definitely. And one big question that a lot of people have, changing careers, like that's a huge decision. So
it was a tremendous decision.
Yeah. So what really made you do it? Because you had a job after.
I did.
Graduating,
and and I tell you, I was good at it. But I was not happy. And every day I was more stressed than the last. And every day I disliked waking up to go to work a little bit more than the day before. And it was simply unfulfilling. And I didn't want to spend the rest of my working life punching a clock and doing something that I wasn't absolutely passionate about. And I started out very passionate, but the more I learned about what I did, the less passionate I became and the less I believed in what I did. And with physical therapy, I believe every bit of what we do and how we can help others and how we can benefit them. And I don't have to, the whole, I wonder if I'm making a difference. I wonder if my impact goes anywhere. I don't have that. I don't, and I won't. I know that these people that we can treat are going to significantly benefit from the services that we provide. And that's what drives me to be better. If I can be better, then they can be better. It's not about me. It's about figuring out how to get them better. And if I can do that, then I can go. To me, one of the biggest struggles I have right now is I don't know what setting I want to practice in. And as a third year, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
As a career change, I can't say it's insignificant to me. But Matt, I can look you in the eye and tell you that regardless of what setting I choose to practice in, I know that I can go home at the end of a long day and say, the people that I got to work with today benefited from me being there. They are better today because I was able to help in whatever way that may be. So for me, that's what's super important. The ability to treat patients and become a physical therapist and basically love on people who are vulnerable physically or emotionally or whatever. I don't have that. I wonder if I know. So to me, that's what made the transition so much easier, is because I know that once I finally get there, I mean, I'm in the clinic now and I don't wonder at all. I can give tangible examples all the time of ways that people are benefiting from the services that we provide them. And I can see it, and they can too. And it's really, really rewarding. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then Twitter.
Dude.
Twitter, how did that happen?
I have no idea. I lucked into it, frankly. I think it was a bet. I think that's probably why. I think that's probably why Jerry had pity on my soul and reached out to me. But I didn't realize that Jerry was like a big deal. Frankly, I didn't. And one year, my Spurs. I'm a huge Spurs fan. My Spurs were playing his Warriors in the playoffs, and we made a bet on Twitter because I knew the Spurs were going to win. Of course, I'm a hometown. I got my Spurs goggles on, and we made a bet that for the remainder of the playoffs, the loser had to put the other guy's logo as their Twitter avatar for the rest of the playoffs. So, of course, the Spurs won. Shout out, Jerry. Spurs won. But Jerry had to turn his dang Twitter avatar into a Spurs logo for a couple of months. And that guy got a bunch of crap from everybody. And that's when I started realizing how big of a deal Jerry was, because there were like all kinds of people ragging on him. Like, who are all these people that care about this guy's avatar? Like, I just thought it was kind of funny, but no, it was a big deal. So he's, I think that's probably why he had mercy on my soul. We were had a little bit of friendly banter back and forth. From the Warriors Spurs, and the Warriors just handed it to the Spurs last week, so he let me know. So
I bet. And then a quick Facebook comment. So it's March Madness. UNC
Oh, Lord.
Gonzaga.
I'm going to have to go UNC.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
have nothing to back that up. I didn't do a bracket this year. I was too busy with clinic and all my other stuff going on. This is the first year in forever I didn't even do a bracket. So my completely uneducated, I'll pick UNC. Go Tar Heels.
Nice. And so, I mean, obviously you're on Facebook. You're in the
Yes.
pre-DPT Facebook group now, and you're also on Twitter. What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
All of the above. I started my own Facebook SPT page about, I don't know, a month ago. Been getting some good positive feedback there. You can like that if you want to. You can friend me on Facebook, or you can find me on Twitter at TylerTracy10.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time and coming on and everything. And then
for sure, man.
Answers everyone's questions. But yeah, feel free to comment and everything. And yeah, everyone have a good day. Hope you had gained something out of this. And Tyler, any other closing words you want to impart? Any pearls of wisdom to?
I would say for those struggling to get into PT school, that comparison is the thief of all joy. So it's very easy when something doesn't go your way to start comparing yourself against others. For me, that happened to be my sister-in-law. She got in and I didn't. And it was very easy for me to go, well, she's strong here, but I'm strong here and here and here. You can't do that. It's all about making yourself better, because all the PT schools that I'm familiar with, and I can't paint with a broad brush and say them all, but most of the PT schools are so competitive to get in that the ability to get an interview really says that you're a strong candidate in and of itself. So discouragement was a big deal for me, and learning to not compare myself against others, but really focus on what I can do differently to kind of tighten things up, or try a different approach, or to be open to feedback was a game changer for me. So that was kind of something that it took me a little bit to live it, but yeah, comparison is really the thief of your joy when it comes to being discouraged. So I would say keep your chin up, keep swinging, because it can happen, but sometimes it just takes longer than you want it to. But if you're truly passionate about it and you're diligent with your work, someone will notice.
All right. And Jerry, you will see this soon, so thank you very much for your partaking and helping this happen. We met at CSM, so
Jerry's the man.
Throw that out there. So
go Spurs, go Spurs.
All right, thanks again, everyone. Have a good one. Have a great rest of your week.
Good deal.